Today we are taking up James Joyce. James Joyce was born in Dublin and educated in Jesuit schools there. He studied English, French, and Italian at University College and took Gaelic League Irish classes under Padraig Pearse. In 1904, he and Nora Barnacle, they married, and whom he later married in 1930, left Ireland, where he wrote Dubliners and a portrait of the artist as a young man. He lived in Zurich from 1915 to 1919 and in 1920 moved to Paris, where he spent most of his life. At the outbreak of the Second World War, he left Paris for Zurich, where later on he died. His major works are the novels Ulysses, written in 1922, Finnegan's Wake, 1939. He published a play, Exiles, in 1918. Joyce's first literary ambitions were in poetry, but his gift for detailed circumstantiality was more suited to the extensive novel form. There have been attempts to make or to describe Finnegan's Wake as poetry because of its highlighting of language rather than narrative. Joyce published 2 slight volumes of lyric poems, chamber music, and poems Peonage. These poems are formally tight and conventional in diction, remote from the experimental language of Finnegan's Wake. The persona in the 36 poems of chamber music is the young lover, alternately lovelorn and sensual, as he serenades his beloved. The cycle has been variously interpreted as codedly suggestive or symbolic. Apart from several Swiftian broadsides on the Irish literary revivalists, most notably the Holy Office and Gas from a Burner, and the exquisite marking the birth of his grandson in 1932. There are 13 poems that illustrate Joyce's enduring taste for the nostalgic. In poems Peonage, but out of that, Tilly is the only one which is much anthologized. His full name is James Augustine Aloysius Joyce, and he was not only an Irish novelist, a short story writer too, poet, teacher, and a literary critic. He is one of the most influential and well-recognized writers of the 20th century. He has contributed to the modernist avant-garde movement. He was born in Dublin in a middle-class family, as you know. He was a brilliant student who went to attend the University College of Dublin, is noted and remembered for his best work, Ulysses. It is his fictional universe that centers on Dublin and is populated largely by characters who closely resemble family members, enemies, and friends from his time there. Ulysses is particular in particular is set with precision in the streets and alleyways of the city. In 1904, Joyce tried to publish a portrait of the artist, an essay story dealing with aesthetics. But then it was rejected by Dana, the free thinking magazine. So he decided to revise it and change it into a novel that he thought he would call Stephen Hero. It was a fictional rendering of his youth. But as he was developing and as he wished, he was trying to develop the entire concept as he wanted to, but then somewhere in the middle, he abandoned it as probably it was not developing as he wanted it to. Years later, he rewrote it as a portrait of the artist as a young man. On January 11th, 1941, he underwent surgery but fell into a coma the following day. Although he gained consciousness on 13th January and he asked for his wife and his son, but lost consciousness and died 15 minutes later. He was less than a month short of his 59th birthday. This is all for today. Thank you.